we doing today? My name is Spectrum Dominus, and it is Wednesday, April 16th, and that means it's What's in the Box Wednesday. Now, I am just a few days away from going on a week's vacation. I purchased two 1987 wax boxes, one for today and one for next Wednesday. So my plan is today to open the 1987 Topps baseball wax box, looking for rookies for Mark McGwire, Bo Jackson, Barry Bonds, Rafael Palmeiro, Ruben Sierra, lots of good cards in this, as well as some of the people I collect, like the Cal Ripken, Tony Gwynns, Ricky Henderson, Don Mattingly's, Nolan Ryan's, etc. So we're going to do that today. And then I'm going to be on vacation next week where I have the 1987 Fleer wax box to open. This is one I haven't done yet. We've done the updated cards. I have the Greg Maddux and the Mark McGwire Fleer update rookie cards graded at 7s because we opened an updated set. But as far as the regular set, the base set, that one has a Barry Bonds and a Bobby Bonilla, but that's not who I was trying to say. A Bo Jackson rookie in it, so that's a good set too. As well as those same people like Don Mattingly and Cal Ripken, Kirby Puckett, Tony Gwynn. So we'll be opening that one, and I'm going to try my best to do that next week on the, what would that make it, the 23rd? But I will be in a hotel room. So we're going to try our best to do it. I'm going to bring the equipment. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to find a place. I'm going to turn on the stream there. If it looks like it's going to work, I'm going to film What's in the Box on location. I think that'll be fun for me to do. If I can't get it to work, we'll skip next week and we'll go, and that will be the 30th or something like that. We'll just save it for then when I get back home and get set back up. But today, we're doing the 1987 Topps. One of, if not the most iconic 80s, late 80s, early 90s, even all of 80s. There's no set more iconic in the 80s than this Topps wood-paneled 87 Topps set. So it's just a look. If you go back and look at all the Topps looks of the cards, or all any card set, doesn't matter, Fleer, but nothing is as recognizable as this wood-paneled set. It's just, everyone knows it. Everyone knows every card in it. It's just the epitome of the wax junk era, and we love it. We love it. We absolutely love it. So there are 36 packs in this box. We're going to take 4 packs out and move those packs over to our social media box. We have a box of, now it's reaching near 100 packs of different stuff. I'm going to change this so you can see. This is one of the best boxes I've ever bought. You can see how clean and nice, and it, obviously you can see the gum in it, but these packs are very nicely put in. They definitely took care of this box. This is not a box that has been just thrown around like a lot of the times it seems like they are. Very much enjoy this box right now. I haven't looked at the 87 Fleer, but when I look at it, if it's also in this good a condition, then I may buy from this seller again. We may not be looking for specific boxes like we do now. What we may be doing is going to his stuff, and whatever he's selling, that's what we're buying. Because, I got him at a good price. He combined shipping, and I didn't, and it's clearly taken care of product. The wax box bottoms, a lot of times there's bottoms on these boxes. This 87 Topps didn't have it on the bottom. It actually had it on the side. So those are there. They are not regular card size. Those are small, but if you look inside, there is backs to those cards. So those are actually box cards. Dave Winfield and Don Sutton. Now that's not what the Dave Winfield card in the box looks like. So that is a box bottom that they have different cards. I kind of wish I could get that. I wish I could get a regular card with that with that Winfield on the side. But we're going to stick this off to the side over here. We'll stick the wrappers back into that, and we're going to take 4 random packs. That one, and that one, and this one, and let's take that one. These 4 we're going to also stick to the side and stick with those over there, which means we have 32 packs to open, and we're hoping for lots and lots of my guys. If I go and get nothing here, it's really the Maguire and the Bo Jackson. I have several Barry Bonds. In fact, right now I have one Barry Bonds that's at PSA that should be coming back next month that I cracked. It was graded by Next Level Grades to be a 9.5, so I cracked it and sent it in. So we'll see if we get I don't think we're going to get a 10, but hopefully we'll get at least a 9 out of it. So since I have like 3 others that I've already graded as well, Next Level Grades, so I'll probably crack those and send those in over time too. But I have so many of the Barry Bonds that I'm more hoping for the Maguire and the Bo Jackson. I do have one Bo Jackson up here that's graded a 9 from Next Level Grades. 9 corners, 9 surface, 9 edges, 9.5 centering. That one's getting set in the near future, but I wouldn't mind pulling a second one or a third one and sending in multiple, give us a better chance of getting a higher grade. All right, so here we go. We're gonna let's start with this one up here. Now, I have in some of my pack, I have saved from previous packs the gum. I'm going to do a video someday of me trying all this gum. I have them in separate bags labeled of what they came from. So we'll do the same with this. This gum will be saved and put with the labeled so I know what they are. Now the thing about these cards is they are so there are a lot of cards in the back box, but the back card gets the glue from the wax pack on it, and this is a Tony Gwynn All-Star. This would have been one of my favorite cards to pull, and now it's damaged. And on the front, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? The gum sticks to it, and so that is no good either. So this is the gum. We're going to be saving the gum, but oh man, I'm very disappointed now. Let's do that. So that Mattingly, this is one of the cards I'm looking for. Now I will say, see the gum leaked through so much that you can see it here. It made an indentation, bubbled through, and stuck to the card that was in front of it. That's how bad it is. Now this card here, this 87 Topps Mattingly, I believe I sent one of these in as well. So if that comes back at 10, and honestly, it looks so good, I hope it does, then it doesn't matter to me. But if it comes back at 8, then this might have been my 10. I mean, look at that centering, look at those edges. That could have been the card, and it's screwed up by gum. So we do make sure when we're pulling this stuff, I don't put this with the rest of it. I take all of the waxy ones and the gum ones and put them to the side. Those are trash cards. We're not going to stick those in the what we call throwaway. If you hear me say, and these go into the throwaway, what I'm saying is these cards go into the dollar teams. 100 cards for $1 from any team. So even this Tony Gwynn, I mean, first of all, look at how there's a major bend there, but it has glue. You're not going to buy that hoping to get a Tony Gwynn card and then get this damaged card. We're not going to give that to you. So if you buy Royals, you may get this Jamie Quirk, but we're going to make sure that every card that you get there is not touched by human hands. well, not every, some of them are from the old sets and stuff that I can't do much about, but for the most part, not touched by human hands and not gum stained and ruined in that sense. So, Tom Kelly, Jamie Kirk, Jeff Reardon, Jose Oquendo, Larry Sheets, Bill Wegman, Lee Guterman, spring baseball fielder. All right, we got the White Sox leaders, 87 checklist, Mike Lloyd, Wallace Johnson, Keith Atherton, Phillies leaders, Gene Walters. So that's pack one. Pack one, not much going for us there. That's okay. That's a bad sign, bad start. Hurts quite a bit, actually. I would have called that pack a win up to that point. All right, so this one, we got a Mookie Wilson. Definitely not as big of a deal, but still a mid-carder. Why can't we be landing these cards on? And again, it's been there so long. This also helps me feel safe about this not being a repackaged thing. We talk about this in the past because they just haven't been together long. They've been together so long, it can't possibly. But you see, it rips the card, so this is no good either. Both of those cards, Jim Morrison and Mookie Wilson, are both no good. And then as far as this side goes, the Billy Bean has the brown of the... All right. Wow, if we're going to lose 3 cards from every pack, that's going to hurt. Dan Plesac, Bob Kearney, Bob James, Mariners leaders, Jim Leland, Brian Oleckers, one of these trash cards, Bruce Ruffin's Rookie Cup, Wayne Krenichki, Tigers leaders, Andre Thornton, there's a Roger Clemens record breaker, Bruce Sutter, Tony Armas, and a checklist. All right, so I'm going to sleeve that record breaker for Roger Clemens. That's not going to get graded or anything, but it will go into my PC because I do collect Roger Clemens. So, except for that the Mattingly was damaged, we have managed 1 card per pack. So far, it's a good good average. This piece of gum there, the top card, again sticking together. Oh, son of a bitch. It's a Dickie Knowles, and it's stuck to a Mike Schmidt. Now, the Mike Schmidt, can see that that corner is destroyed, but honestly the gum didn't really tear up the back any. But I mean, look at that card. If that corner wasn't destroyed, look at how great. I'm still gonna stick it. I may already have, I do already have this, and the one I have is probably in better condition, so, but we're gonna stick it over there anyway. This is just, it's just sad. And then we got Scott Sanderson is glued on the back. I mean, it's not even like I can blame the guy who sold this to me. That's just, it's an old box. Don Robinson, Bill Mooneyham, Mike Woodard, Tommy John, Gary Lucas, Jim Fregosi, Ed Romero, Scott Nielsen, Ricky Wright, Jim Betty, Bill Kruger, Rafael Santana, R.J. Reynolds, and Hubie Brooks. So again, 1 card per pack. Of course, of those 3 cards, 4 cards actually if you count the Tony Gwynn. But of those 4 cards, 3 of them were theoretically damaged. Oh my gosh, again, this something's wrong. This is insane. Dwight Gooden. And it's attached to a Juan Augusto. Trash. Let's see what the back card is. Tom Brookins. You see the glue there. We got Tom Brunansky, Mike Marshall, Dave Righetti, record breaker, Chris Chambliss, Jim Traber, Von Hayes, Vern Rule, Terry Mulholland, Dwight Evans, Denny Martinez, Jimmy Key, Chris Welsh, Reed Nichols, Tom Lawless. I mean, this is getting quite absurd. I have never seen something this ridiculous. At some point, you have to feel like it's planned. All right, Terry Pohl is our... And there's our gum. Got Jim Morrison. Attached to Brian Okerfelds, and yep, it went through, so that's no good. Not that that's someone that matters. Finally, it's a good one. All right, Mike Fitzgerald, Dan Plesac, Bob Kearney, Bob James, Mariners leaders, Chris Brown. We got the spring training card. Davey Lopez, Fernando Valenzuela, Bobby Bonilla. That is a Bobby Bonilla rookie. You can see the centering is not great on that. I will not be sending that. But I would like a 10 Bobby Bonilla 87 tops. But unfortunately, we gotta find one that's a little better centered. I'm gonna stick that in the notable rookies. But I'll have to get another 87 box to try to get a better version. Jim Rice rookie, Mitch Williams, Dan Schatzner, and Ray Quinones. Gorman Thomas. That, nope, there's the gum. Let's get that out of there. And then Ken Oberfeld and Shawan Dunston got stuck too, so we'll get rid of that one. All right, then we start with Dave Henderson, Manny Lee, Rick Anderson, Braves leaders, Kirk Gibson, Donald Arthur Mattingly, and that is a pretty nice one. Okay, so this one we are going to sleeve and top load, and this one will be getting graded. That's a nice condition one, and we're trying to get the whole Mattingly set. We get every Mattingly graded we can, so we can get that one graded. And looking back here, it is going to go on the wall, so a couple cards will get, at least one card will get bumped for that. Well, only one card will get bumped for that, but other cards may bump other cards. Jeff Heron, Brad Havens, Bill Swift, Darryl Motley, Rob Murphy, Dave Smith, Tom Seaver, and Gerald Perry. We got Greg Minton with the glue wax, I should say, the glue, yeah, of the card. I mean, of the pack. And we have Joe Cowley picture with the gum sticking to a Terry Pendleton and ripped it, so that's no good. Then we have that going away. And we got Herm Winningham, Matt Young, Bip Roberts, Bruce Bochy, Tim Burke, Larry Herndon, Glenn Hubbard, Jeff Stone, Mike Flanagan, Bobby Ojeda, Angels Leaders, Dave Parker, Mike Greenwell, and Dennis Rasmussen. All right, last pack of the first quarter. 25% will be gone after this pack. Not a good start. Ernie Witt. There you go. You got the wax stain there. And this one, Tony Phillips. Is connected to Jamie Kockenauer. Oops. Good thing, too. Can't have Kockenauer over there not getting stuck to. All right. We got Sid Fernandez, Joe Price, Terry Harper, Mike Kingery, Billy Hatcher, Rance Mullinkins, Padres Leaders, Jimmy Williams, Andres Galarraga, Brett Butler, Jose De Leon, Dave Schmidt, Gary Ward, and Checklist. Baseball Checklist 1987 Topps. All right, 25% of the way done. We got one gradable card. 3 cards going to the collection. One of those is kind of damaged. One of those is uncentered, so off-center, so I can't really. And again, now, luckily, we've already pulled this card, but this is the Roger Clemens record breaker, and it's gluey. And then this side, oh my gosh, you gotta be shitting me. Damn it. Connected to a Jim Sundberg. I mean, you can... Wow, I can't believe you can't see that unless I go change. I mean, it is so bad. You can see that there, but it... I mean, that's the wording coming through. That's the letters on the back coming through. It's so much worse in person than I can get it to show on the computer, on the camera. And this is, I mean, right now, guys, this is how much I have to throw away. So far, 25% of the way through, that's how much I'm having to throw away. I'm throwing away so much. Why baseball couldn't stick that there and have the gum go to the advertisement? Ray Knight, Fred Tolliver, Lee Durham, Greg Brock, Jack Howell, as if it's baseball's fault. Topps, Dave Grumpert, Greg Gross, Mark Einhorn, Ken Landau. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, it's a little top to bottom that's heavy and light, but left and right, that is beautiful. That is definitely not a 10 because of the top bottom centering. But if I can get that as a 9, if I can send it in and they say that's a 9, and then they look at the other one and say, yeah, the centering's even better, it's got to be a 10. That is definitely going in. I got to say, considering how much trash I'm getting because of the wax and stuff, the cards that are coming are so good, in such good shape. I mean, it's night and day between the beginning of the pack and the middle of the pack. Mike Brown, Tiger Leader, Andre Thornton, and Bob McClure. The problem is it has a very high percentage of cards on the, that are wax or gummed that are people I collect. Considering there are 800 cards in the set, 792 cards in the set, the fact that the first three, Dwayne Ward, were all like stud stars, Tony Gwynn and what have you. Alright, this time it's Mike Cutthroat. And there's not much that can be done about it. I want these at 87 cards, so I have to buy the 87 cards. And then this happens. It's going to happen even the next time I buy it. Now Candy Maldonado, it's there. What I can say is there are vending boxes that don't have gum. And maybe in the future I should try a couple vending boxes. The wax box is so much better. You're opening packs. The vending boxes, you open the top and they're just all laid out there. But Bruce Sutter, Alan Anderson, Twins leaders, Phil Necro, Tracy Jones, Craig Leffert, Jorge Orta, Jamie Moyer, Jim Slanton, Pat Perry, Joe Sambito, Tim Hullett, Ted Power, and Wally Backman. I guess it'll all depend. Like the one card I've majorly definitely lost was the Roger Clemens, and then I've got the Mike Schmidt that, although it was in position to be ruined, didn't really seem ruined except that the corner's so damaged. So I lost two, and the Tony Gwynn. Oh, the Tony Gwynn. That's so sad. But yeah, it's not terrible, I guess. I lost the Clemens record breaker, but I already had one by then. Jim Ganter and Tony Fernandez. I mean, that one ripped it completely. It's a good thing Tony Fernandez is not one of the guys I collect. He was I won't say he was first man out. But he was considered. Brewers, Tim Flannery, Jose Cruz, Mickey Brantley, Frankie DePino, Max Venable, Bill Caudill, Charlie Moore, Reggie Williams, Bert Blyleven. It's a twin. We'll give that to Shane. Jay Tibbs, Milt Thompson, Jim Presley, and T.R. Bryden. All right, we got Mark Kooks Man, Cookies Man, and then let's see, we got Doug DeCines, which ended up not being anyone, and Rob Deere. Rob Deere didn't end up being anyone, but he did. No, never mind. I was gonna say he did have like a record breaker. Todd Worrell rookie. Tom Patrick, Roberto Clemente throwback, Terry Kennedy, Cliff Johnson, Jeff Calhoun, Rod Scurry, Daryl Porter, Jose Rijo, Ron Reynolds, Tim Laudner, Glenn Davis, Jim Penkovitz, and Mike Young. We've hit a cold spell, guys. We've hit a cold spell. I know there's more to come. Oh, there. Another one ruined. So over here, I told you guys if I there's a card that I want and it's damaged, I'll stick it in a top loader or a penny sleeve upside down, so it's like I put them all in with the 10 sleeves up, and then I see a card turned upside down, and it tells me, hey, you want this card, but you got a damaged version. Go get another one. I have an Eric Davis and a Barry Larkin like that I want to get graded. Now this one is got glue stains, but it's so miscut I wouldn't have sent this anyway. So, but still, that should have been a add it to the notable rookies. And I can't because it's damaged, because it was on the outside and there's wax stains on it. This one, Eric Plunk and Raid Rowden, are both trash. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I saw something in this one. This one's got something, so here we go. Ed Wojcina, Jose Canseco. Now that Jose Canseco, I want to get done. I want to get it graded, but as you can see, that's a little off center. So we're going to see if we can find a better one than that. Ooh, and then there's an Ozzie Smith right underneath it. Again, off-centered, but there was no chance of sending Ozzie anyway. That's just goes in the Ozzie pile. Todd Worrell, Chico Walker, Tom Herr, Roy Smalley, Floyd Rayford, Tim Lawler, Jim Wolford, Dennis Powell, Orlando Mercado, Walt Terrell, and Mike Pagliarulo, which I got to get myself a Mike Pagliarulo rookie. That's it's on my to-do list. This pack was kind of already open, and right off the bat, another Pete Incavilla rookie. That one's not cut well, and it's got a glue stain. And then we got Claudell Washington, and stuck to the back card is Donnie Moore. So those are trash. I mean, wow. In fact, I'm losing 3 cards per pack. Dave Bergman, Scott Bales, Don Sutton, Chuck Finley, Cecil Cooper, Kelly Downs, Dickie Thon, Joel Youngblood, Franklin Stubbs, Chuck Carey, Joel Davis, Paul Oshamacher, Juan Samuel, and Carmen Castillo. All right, 2 more packs, and we'll be at the halfway point. So again, one of the All-Star cards, the Gary Carter. It's got the glue there. Gary Carter is someone I don't collect, but I did collect for a short period of time. He got kicked out. If I ever get myself organized to where I feel like I can collect more, he will be moved back in. Here we got Chris Spire and Dave Anderson. Right. Bob Horner, Lou Piniella, Randy Bush, Bob Welsh, Thad Bosley, Bo Diaz, Julio Cruz, Mark Portugal, Frank Wills, Scott McGregor, Charlie Kerfeld, Greg Pryor, Steve Lyons, and Cal Ripken Jr., and that's a pretty decent Cal Ripken Jr. Again, it's the cut. The cut that I notice is always the left-right one. I don't always pay attention to the up-down. This is clearly a bad up-down, but the left-right is really nice. I can't complain about that one too much. All right. And we won't be getting Cal Ripken's 87 tops graded anytime soon. We got a lot of other stuff that's gonna. Wouldn't be opposed to doing Cal like I do Mattingly, but I got to get all of Mattingly's done, and then, you know, Griffey's and Bill Buckner. Jim Wynn and Eddie Winston. Gene Michael, Sal Botera, Danny Heap, Rich Bordy, Brooke Jacoby, Pete Rose manager. That one's cut real well. I guess it's a little bit heavy on the right side. But still, that's not bad at all. Harry Spillman, Ernie Camacho, Juan Bonilla, Frank White, Wade Boggs, All-Star. Another one of my guys. Ray Fontinto, Scott Garrels, and Richard Dodson. All right, let's leave these two up. That was the halfway point. That was the box trying to get me back into feeling like I didn't miss out on anything. It's like, oh, let's give him a couple. Give him a Wade Boggs rookie and a slightly off-centered Pete Rose manager card. All right. That means 17. Nope, that doesn't make sense. 36 minus 4 would be 32. 16 left. All right. I was like, it can't be 17. There's two even stacks. It's got to be an even number. We got Juan Beniquez with its glue. And then Billy Sample stuck to a Mike Lacrosse. Then we got Larry Parrish, Jeff Dedman, Mike Davis, Marty Barrett, Steve Fireroyd, Alex Trevino, Jeff Reed, Mike Witt, Willie Randolph, Frank Williams, Steve Buechele, Dan Quisenberry, Andy Allison, and Davey Lopez. John Candelosi stuck to a Jack Clark. It's one of my favorite cards that, just from a visual standpoint, hair flowing, you could tell he's, he was going home, and then they threw the ball in, so he stopped to go back to third, and that's just a good one that I remember from my younger days. Let's see what the back one was. Andres Thomas, rookie. Got the wax. We got Kelly Gruber, Bob Tewksbury, John Shelby, Teddy Higuera, Mariano Duncan, Mike Felder, Ray Surge, Bobby Witt, Doyle Alexander, Harold Reynolds, Athlete Hamager, Kirby Puckett All-Star, George Frazier, and Moose Haas. And that Kirby Puckett All-Star looks pretty nice. Got a team checklist. Dick Williams manager. On this side, we got a Jody Davis attached to a Scott Terry. Brett Saberhagen, Mike Maddox, Pete O'Brien, Bob Brenly, Reds leaders, Jerry Mumphrey, Rich Gedman, All-Star Fernando Valenzuela, Manny Trillo, Steve Lake, Expos leaders, Ken Griffey Sr., Cal Ripken Jr. All-Star, and a Steve Trout. And again, the Cal Ripken Jr. is, it's got a line right down. That's terrible. It's got a line all the way down. It's off center left to right. It's off center up to down. I'm not even gonna justify putting that anywhere. I'm gonna put it in the trash with the rest of the ones that were messed up by gum and stuff. I don't want someone getting that one and be disappointed because of the damage to it. It's a sad, sad case. Bruce Ruffins with the glue. Ooh, that could have been bad. I almost knocked the whole stack over. And here we got a Mike Fichlin attached to a Randy St. Clair, which was attached to gum. Here we got Carmelo Martinez, Nate Snell, Rick Shue, William McGee, Nick Eske, Gene Garber, Toby Hara, Ed Correa, Scott Bradley, Jeff Hamilton, Rick Roden. Ooh, there's the Barry Bonds rookie. Off center, left to right, or I should say right to left. Up and down looks pretty good, but it is definitely not the best Barry Bonds. Also, you can see that black mark right there by his name. So we're going to stick that in notable rookies, or maybe I'll stick it in my Barry Bonds collection. Just not graded. It's not gradable. Lance Parrish, and then there's the Tony Gwynn All-Star that we lost in the first pack, returned to us in much better condition. All his glory. All right. Not bad. The Barry Bonds is nice, but I want another bow. I'd rather another bow. I'd rather some McGuire's. Jim DeHastis is the wax card. And we got Cal Daniels. Stick it down there. Connected to a Lloyd Mosby. Not a... There's a Cal Daniels. Not a Ted Mosby, though. That would be worse. John Franco, Ken Daly, Pat Sheridan, Tony Gwynn. That's a pretty nice Tony Gwynn. Chris Bando, Mike Bielecki, Wayne Krenichecki, Tony Armas, Baseball Checklist, Billy Bean, Greg Nettles, Bill Dotley, Red Sox Leaders, and Ozzie Virgil. That's a very nice Tony Gwynn right there. Not ready to start grading every Tony Gwynn, but when I am, that 87 Topps will do the job. You know what? There's no reason to risk anything for now. We're getting the 87 Dunross Tony Gwynn graded. There's no reason not to get the 87 Topps 1 too. Alright, this seems like a fat pack. Maybe they're all that, yeah. I mean, they all seem to be fat. I've noticed that every time I open it up. It's like, that seems very fat. But for some reason, this one seems even fatter. Alright, so this one, the Marvell Wayne and the Jeffrey Leonard are stuck together. And the Roy Lee Jackson has the glue from the sticker. I mean, from the pack. So let's take care of this, and then we'll take care of those. George Bell, Cubs Leaders. Robbie Thompson, rookie. Urbano Luke, Tom Candiotti, Barry Jones, Don Schultz, Bob Rogers, Rick Aguilera, Luis Quinones, Mike Easler, Jim Leland, Vance Law, Dennis Leonard, Roy Lee, and then Marvell Wayne stuck to a Jeffrey Leonard. 2 more packs in this stack, and then we'll be 75% of the way done. Billy Joe Robideau. Why is it every time we get a Billy Joe, he's a wax card? And this one, Willie Upshaw, is connected to a Joel Niekro. We got John Denny, Tim Wallach, Jeff Sellers, Dennis Boyd, Daryl Evans, Tom O'Malley, Don Ass, Mark McGuire. Holy cow. That's a nice... it might be a little top bottom heavy. That's going to end up coming back a 9, isn't it? Give me another one. Give me another one. At least I got one. At least I got one of everything, really. I got a Canseco. Not a good one. I'd rather a better Canseco. I got a Canseco, a McGuire, a Bonds, and a Jackson. I got one of each. I still haven't got... I got a Davis, but it was bad. I haven't got a Larkin. I haven't got I got an Incavia, but that was bad. I haven't got a Sierra, and I haven't got a... Who's the other guy? Not Incavia, but the other Pete Incavia. Anyway, Randy Neiman, Dwayne Murphy, Storm Davis, Ozzie Smith All-Star, Jerry Reed, Darnell Coles. Who am I thinking of? He's the other guy that did not get into the Hall of Fame because of PEDs. Rafael Palmeiro. All right, final. That's the other Pete Incavia. If you're wondering what I meant by the other Pete Incavia. Pete Ladd, trash. And we got Don Arman attached to Kirby Puckett. Son of a bitch, I was just sitting here going, I haven't gotten a Kirby base card yet. And I was hoping for 2 because I wanted to give 1 to Shane. Mookie Wilson, Jamie Quirk, Pat Clements, Greg Walker, Ron Romanek, Bill Wegman, John McNamara, Steve Sachs, Carl Willis, Carney Lansford, Luis Salazar, Lee Mazzilli, Glenn Hoffman, and Ken Howell. All right. And then let's look at this ruined Kirby Puckett. All right, so it is ruined. I wouldn't give it to anyone specifically. It's only got dots and stuff. It's really not the worst thing in the world, but rather than throw it away, I'm going to give that to Shane. I'll let him know about the sticking, but I don't think he'll mind all that much. It didn't really damage it too much. All right, final stack here, guys. Last 8 packs. We got Buddy Bell is our wax card, and Tony Pena attached to Kevin Romaine as our gum card. Lenny Dykstra, Mike Lavardi, Daryl Strawberry, Jim Clancy, Don Slott, Dave Dravecky, Jim DeJesus, record breaker, Darren Dalton, Mike Morgan, Floyd Bannister, Dodgers leaders, Bob Denerier, Teddy Higuera, and Tim Pynarski. Wasn't really as much of a future star as they thought. Tony Pena and Kevin Romaine. I mean, honestly, oh yeah, that one's a bad one. The Kirby Puckett actually turned out really well considering. All right, and we got freaking A. So this one, we got Bill Swift attached to Roger Clemens. That's the second time Roger got screwed over. And we got a Ruben Sierra record breaker wax mark. Rookie record breaker wax mark. Steve Carlton, Al Paludio, Reggie Jackson turned back the clock, Bob Greich, Mike Burbeck, Bobby Meacham, Wally Joyner. That is a notable rookie there. Steve Sachs, Fred Tolliver, Lee Durham, Greg Brock, Pat Clements, Dave Gumpert, and Jim Sunderberg. You know that's trash. Wow. Okay. It's actually pretty nice. I'm going to keep that one. Not like I get that Roger Clemens 87 tops graded anyway. It's got a dot there. It wouldn't get a 10. Just goes in my 80. It goes in my Clemens collection until I'm ready to get a better one. Alejandro Pena. So our wax card. We got Ray Knight stuck to a Mike Krukow as our gum card. Lou Whitaker, Keith Hernandez, All-Star, Pat Corrales, Brian Fisher, Ed Vandenberg, Henry Cato, Joaquin Andujar, John Bucha, Pat Perry, Joe Sambito, Tim Hullett, Ted Power, Wally Backman, and Candy Maldonado. We are running real low on packs and still a lot. I mean, not even... I mean, part of the problem is a lot of the ones that I would have liked to get, I did get just damaged, like Cal Ripken Jr., but no Dave Winfield. Tim Stoddard is our wax. Dale Murphy, connected to Rick Dempsey, is our gum. At this point, I'm not even worrying about them pulling them apart, just stacking them over there with the gum. I'll take care of it after. Bob Kippert, Bob Sebra, Kevin Bass, Enos Campbell, Rafael Ramirez, Dwight Lowry, Nolan Ryan. There we go. Now that one is terribly, like, look at the shave on that. How much stuff is coming off the side. And it almost feels like it's cut. Like look at that at the back. How, the angle it's at. That's just a terribly cut card. We're not even going to count that one. Just throw that away. Steve Farr, Gary Roenick, Kari Yastrzemski, turn back the clock, Spike Owens, Lamar Hoyt, Wayne Tollison, and Dave Righetti. Can't believe I finally got a Nolan Ryan, and it looked like that. Gotta say, this is kind of the most disappointing box I've ever opened in a way. Terry Foster, connected to a Mickey Tettleton. There's someone. George Bamberger, Tom Waddle, Steve Crawford, Vince Coleman, Damaso Garcia, Sammy Khalifa, Ricky Henderson. That's a nice Ricky Henderson there. A's leaders, George Hendrick, Mike Laga, Kurt Stillwell, Terry Francona, Jesse Orosco, and the Cardinals leaders. Now, I will say this. I've opened 2 or 3 of these boxes since I've restarted. And so a lot of these cards and players I already do have. I'm complaining, and justifiably so, I believe, with how damaged these are. Not that I'm complaining at anyone. I don't believe anyone did this. I believe time and physics or chemistry, whatever, caused this to happen. But even the ones that aren't in the middle, just unluckily or terrible, like the Cal Ripken Jr., just very unlucky here. But I probably have a Cal Ripken Jr. already in my collection. That's an 87 Topps from that other box. So that's a John Kruk rookie. Badly cut, but notable rookie. If I've already got this John Kruk in my notable rookies, then I'll determine which one's in better condition, and we'll keep that one. Buddy Bianca, and we're going to do another box too, so eventually, someday. Bob Walk, Mickey Hatcher, Keith Hernandez, Andy Hawkins, Johnny Ray, Dave Von Olen, Larry Anderson, Kevin Mitchell. There's a Roger Clemens All-Star and Bill Camel. And the Roger Clemens All-Star that was damaged, I got back. And that one's pretty good. Although I feel like... Oh, no, it was the record breaker before. It was the Tony Gwynn All-Star that was damaged that I got back before. Now I got the Roger Clemens one. Nice. All right, final 2 packs. Here we go. I expect the next pack to have a Bo Jackson on the back with a big wax stain and a Mark McGwire on the front with a big gum stain. That's what I expect. Danny Gladden and Jerry Willard. And the Mark McGwire will probably be connected to a Barry Bonds. All right, we got Denny Werling, Dan Pasqua, Bob Shirley, Jim Rice, Ron Woodward, Gene Nelson, Will Clark rookie, Ron Roenick, Lee Smith, John Stefano, Steve Betterosen, Giants leaders, 87 baseball, Tippy Martinez. That 87 Topps Will Clark is a little off-centered. I would send this for grading if I thought it was a 10, if there was a chance. But with that centering, it's not going to. So we're just going to stick it in a notable rookie. But Will Clark is a notable rookie. Like, he's the first name off the list that I don't collect. But he's like name number 1. Him and Gary Carter. As far as his rookie card go, I do want to get his rookie cards. He's one of those guys that I'd like to get all of his rookie cards graded out of 10. All right, so we got Gene Mock, manager for the Angels, connected to a Jose Uribe. That's not bad. We got a Baltimore team leaders as our wax card. That's not terrible. We got Rick Honeycutt, John Henry Johnson, Jim Dwyer, Todd Whirl All-Star, Brian Dayette, Chili Davis, Frank Pastore, Gary Gaetti. I'm going to give that to Shane. Bob Forsch, Joe Orsulak, Dave Collins, George Brett. That's a nice card. Rich Gossage, and Doug Drabeck. So, not the best ending. We got a Gary Gaetti for Shane, which should have been a Kirby Puckett. And then a George Brett, which is nice, but not one of those. Definitely not one of those rookies we were hoping for in the final pack. But unlike the 87 Donruss, we did we 87 Donruss. We got 2 McGuires, but we didn't get a single Barry Bonds. We we got the I'm assuming that there's all the guys that are here in this set are probably also exist there in the sense of the Barry Larkin and the Eric Davis and all that, and none of those showed up. Ruben Sierra, and maybe they didn't. Maybe they don't exist in the 87 Donruss, but I didn't get any of that. So I do feel like we hit a few more here. We didn't. We got one of each of the big ones that we were looking for, and that's what matters. When you think of the 4 big rookies out of this, we got them. The 5th one being Jose. Unfortunately, the one we got was not a good one. But, all right, there we go. So, just to give you an idea, these are the stacks of what's going in the trash. By trash, I mean team sets. Here's the other stack. We got 3 cards for Shane, the Kirby, the Blyleven, and the Gary Gaetti. We got a stack this big of literal trash, gum stains and wax stains, and terrible, terrible cards. Now, I do know that Sugar has this thing about cards with the stains on them like that. He finds it almost like I do an error card. He finds it cool. So if there are any of these stars or rookies or whatever, he's like, oh, I love that Cal Ripken, although that's not an error card. That's one just got a big black streak. But there was some in here. If he was like, I'll take that Don Mattingly with the gum stain. Oh my gosh, the Don Mattingly with the gum stain. I didn't even get a Don Mattingly, did I? Did I get another Don Mattingly? I got the All-Star. I didn't even get a base Don Mattingly or the Roger Clemens or anything like that. If he wanted that with the gum stain on it, he can ask me for it. I'll be happy to give it to him, any of those cards. But then these are the cards I get to add to my collection. We got George Brett, Will Clark, Roger Clemens All-Star, John Kruk, Ricky Henderson, Roger Clemens base, Wally Joyner, Ozzie Smith, Tony Gwynn, both All-Stars, Barry Bonds, Kirby Puckett, Wade Boggs, All-Star, Pete Rose, Cal Ripken base, Ozzie Smith base, Jose Canseco rookie, Bobby Bonilla rookie, Mike Schmidt base, and Roger Clemens record breaker. And then the 4 cards that got top loaded to be graded at some point will be the Mattingly All-Star, the McGuire rookie, the Gwynn base, and the Bo Jackson future stars. So